But sir, what are the things we need to do now? This is what. Think about the night before the exam when you were panicked for the stuff you couldn't revise. When you were wondering whether to go to sleep or go through that one topic that you felt will surely be on the exam. Yes, that list of regrets is exactly where you need to start revising. What do you think is harder to tolerate? Uncertainty or failure? I wanted to think about two students. One of them is waiting for his results and the other one has already failed his exams. Who do you think is more stressed out? We might think waiting for results is better because at least there is hope, whereas for the other person who has failed his exam, there is not even hope. But psychological studies show that uncertainty of waiting for something is actually a lot harder to tolerate than failure itself. I also came across unfortunate cases where people who are waiting for their cancer results commit suicide because they can't tolerate the uncertainty. Can you imagine that? They are not even waiting to see if they have cancer or not. Just the waiting has pushed them over the edge. Now, I think all of you students across all the domains have a fair understanding of just how difficult uncertainty is to tolerate. Obviously, the case in point is your exams getting postponed. As soon as this announcement was made, the effects were as disastrous as a tsunami for some people and as amazing as winning the lottery for others. Now, I did not make this video to rant about whether this decision was right or wrong or to discuss the fairness of it. Because honestly, that's a very personal reaction because some of you welcomed the announcement and others were shattered by it. So the reason for this video is to talk about what is to be done now and how to go about swimming across the sea of uncertainty. So without further ado, let's get on with it. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Abbas Ali, a full-time orthopedic surgeon and a faculty of orthopedics and also a part-time YouTuber. I hope and pray that all of you are doing the best you can in these difficult times. So the question is, how can we deal with this uncertainty? I always use this simple 4-step process. Step 1. Feel free to react to the news. That is, whether you want to scream in frustration, cry in despair, or punch in anger, go for it. If you feel massively relieved that it got postponed, feel free to have that reaction as well. And never mind what your friends think about you. I know some people who immediately started revision and refuse to even acknowledge that this has happened. This is not natural. Just take a few days to cope up with the shock and get it out of your system. Now, if you need to vent for hours to your friends, do it. If you need your parents to be sympathetic, ask them to be patient. If you want to binge on your favorite ice cream, go for it. And if you feel that the world is an unfair place, that's fine. Be mad at it. Understand that these feelings are all natural and you can feel it. The aim should be now to start moving towards acceptance. For a lot of us, accepting something like this is scary because we suddenly realize how little control we have in this world. And we feel so small and helpless. We feel all our planning means nothing at all. But don't worry too much about that. It's the same situation for everyone. They also don't have any control over the exam date. The only thing you can control is your attitude and reaction to it. So I want you to slowly stop feeling all the things you were feeling previously and accept that it has happened. It's going to take some time, but you will definitely get there. If you want to accelerate this process, here's a tip. Start making plans. Make a list of things that you need to do. Prioritize them and start ticking them off. But sir, what are the things we need to do now? This is what. Think about the night before the exam when you were panicked for the stuff you couldn't revise. When you were wondering whether to go to sleep or go through that one topic that you felt will surely be on the exam. Yes, that list of regrets is exactly where you need to start revising. And who knows, after going through that list, maybe you will even start thinking that the exam got postponed for your own good. Now, once you're ready, make a schedule. Yes, there is no date till now, but hear me out. The best thing to do is plan assuming the exam is in 4 weeks. If there is no announcement till then, keep updating for every 4 weeks because the announcement will most likely happen at least a month before the exam. So plan for 4 weeks, and if there is no announcement, end your schedule and then again plan for another 4 weeks. That way you will be ready. Now, if you're feeling scared and lost and are unable to start studying, the best thing you can do is to make a timetable of routine activities like cooking and exercise and TV. By doing these activities in the designated time slots, you will feel that you have some control. Then slowly start incorporating study and the question bank in your days. Trust me, it's better to take some time off to relax and start with baby steps than postpone studying altogether. If you are away from family, spend some quality time with them, and while you're at it, try to squeeze in a few questions just to be in practice. Now, for Marrow users, we have a marathon coming up. Hopefully, that will keep you on track. Now, the fourth thing is, now it's very likely that your brain is coming up with various disaster scenarios every time you sit down to study. Of course, you're very disappointed that the exam got postponed, and instead of happily enjoying your holidays, you're now stuck with an unknown exam date. It's natural to assume that this postponement that made you so unhappy will probably bring you down in the exams as well. You might also start thinking that this year is unlucky for you. You might be convinced that you have lost your pace and everyone else is blazing ahead and you are now far, far behind. But listen to me, this is not true. You see, you never know how an event impacts your life. What sometimes seems like a disaster might be a blessing in disguise. Like how some people miss a train that then gets into an accident. So stop thinking that this is a negative event, because you're not God, you're not even Oracle. So the best way is to continue moving forward and see how the things turn out. You never know, maybe this is just what you needed to get that score you wanted. Now, for getting bored part, yes, I can understand that it's very boring to read the same syllabus again and again for who knows how long. But now is not the time to give up. Now is the time to be that legendary batch who had to cope up with an exam on top of a raging pandemic and still came out with flying colors. That batch who didn't lose their spirit and made their dreams come true. That's the kind of story you can tell your grandkids. So come on, stay strong and continue moving forwards. And one day we'll all be celebrating the end of the exams and hopefully the pandemic too. Let me end by quoting these epic lines by Robert Frost. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep and miles to go before I sleep. Miles to go before I sleep. I will see you in the next one. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.